Hello Sagittarius, welcome back to my YouTube channel. These are going to be your messages for the month of March 2022. Bit of a different format that we're trying this month. If you prefer this format, give a thumbs up or leave a comment down below. I'm going to be reading from Starchild Tarot as well as pulling a few oracles from the Plant Ally Oracle deck. I will have these listed below. I'm also going to go ahead and apologize in advance. There is construction going on right outside of my house and it's very loud. There's nothing I can do about it. I refuse to not film these videos for you guys, and so I am either going to have to talk around it or edit it out, but I'm sure there will be bits and pieces of it that you can hear in the video. With that being said, I've already shuffled off camera, but woo, okay, these really wanted to come out. First three cards out, Sag, you have the Eight of Cups, the Three of Swords, the Nine of Crystals, the Four of Crystals, the Two of Crystals, the Ten of Crystals, the Queen of Cups, and the Knight of Swords. So lots of Pentacles cards. In this particular deck, Pentacles are represented by crystals, but you guys pulled the Nine of Crystals, the Four of Crystals, the Two of Crystals, and the Ten of Crystals. So that's pretty significant. That's half of your cards. So let's go ahead and jump in. All right, Sag, so coming out of the gate, you have the Eight of Cups and the Two of Crystals. So Eight of Cups is an energy that always represents having to move on from something, having to leave something behind, basically a sacrifice. And I get the sense for a lot of you Sages that this is pertaining to a relationship of some kind, a romantic relationship, something that had been out of balance for a while. And I say that word, I use that word because you have the Two of Crystals underneath this Eight of Cups. And Two of Crystals is all about restoring balance. It's all about progressing forward through a transition. And so in order to reach this place of balance, you had to walk away from something. You had to sacrifice a certain relationship that maybe there was a resistance to at first. You weren't sure if you wanted to walk away from it, or you didn't want to walk away from it at first. But eventually it did kind of get to that point where it became very obvious that that was the only solution. And so Two of Crystals is reassuring you Sages that you did make the right choice. And although to some of you guys it may not feel like that right now, it may not feel very great, may not feel like you have created more balance in your life, the dust has not fully settled yet, is what Spirit is saying. And so give it a little more time for that dust to settle, and you will see and understand that ultimately in the end you did make the right choice. This is also really being reiterated, I feel, by this Three of Swords here, which always represents heartbreak, a grief of some kind, mourning, a loss of some sort. And so again, I feel like this Three of Swords is connected to some sort of relationship, some sort of close partnership or relationship that a lot of you Sages had to pull the cord on. You had to really look at the situation for what it was and say, okay, like this can't continue anymore. And so interestingly enough, you have this Ten of Crystals or Ten of Pentacles beneath this Three of Swords. Ten of Pentacles is all about spiritual ascension, in security, and completing a cycle, culmination, family. So there's a lot of richness that you can pull out of this Ten of Crystals energy. And I'm not sure if you guys can see this, but if you go back to this Two of Crystals, the woman in the card is kind of side-eyeing this Ten of Crystals card, kind of peering over to the side at this Ten of Crystals energy. Right now, like I said, a lot of you Sages are just out of having done this. You're just out of having walked away from this thing. And so you're not fully in this Ten of Crystals energy yet. It's not fully making sense to you. You don't have the full picture yet, but you're close. You're looking over at it, you sense it, you feel that it's there, but like I said, that dust hasn't fully settled yet from what you've had to walk away from. So be patient right now, be patient with yourself, be patient with others, but just know that it's right in front of you. You've already taken the first couple of necessary steps. You've already made that declaration to the universe that you're ready to have better, you're ready to receive better, you're ready to experience better. And so from that declaration, better is now coming toward you. Moving up to this Nine of Crystals, I mean, stability, accomplishment, again, spiritual growth. So whatever this was that you had to walk away from, there was a lesson there. And again, like I said, you maybe don't see the fullness of that yet, but this has taught, that whatever this was has taught you something. Whatever this experience was, it's given you a key piece of information that you've needed about yourself, about how you want things, how you would prefer things to move forward for you in the future, what you don't want. It has given you a deeper understanding of what you will and won't tolerate, who you are, what you contribute to the relationships around you. It's given you so much on so many levels. And, you know, obviously when you're in the thick of grief or anger, you don't see all of that. You're not thinking about all of that. You're just kind of consumed by your grief and your anger and your sadness. And that's understandable, but this too shall pass. Eventually, Sag, you're going to be stepping a bit more outside of that grief and disappointment, and you'll be able to see more of this. However, Spirit again is reiterating that you guys have set a tone. You guys have set a certain standard that the universe now understands, your spirits now understand, because you have declared it. You have declared it and said, no more, I'm walking away, I'm choosing myself, I am reestablishing balance. You've made that declaration, and so now the energy around you has no choice but to move. It has no choice but to respond to the declaration that you have made and to give you better things, give you better options. So good job. I feel like a lot of you Sages are going to be embodying this Queen of Cups energy. And although it says Queen of Cups, it can apply to either a male Sagittarius or a female Sagittarius watching this video. Queen of Cups is a psychic. She is loving, she's compassionate, she has a very potent healing energy about her, but she's also very honest. She's honest because she has no choice but to be. Her emotions just kind of spill out of her. She's a reflection of everything around her, which is why you see the reflection being doubled here in the image. Right now, Sagittarius, is a time for you to really tap and tune into your inner voice and your psychic abilities. And, not just having to do with this thing that you're dealing with and that you've walked away from, but just across the board. So some of you guys, I get the sense you're beating yourself up a little bit because maybe you're thinking to yourself, oh, like, why didn't I leave sooner? I should have left sooner. I knew this about this person, but I was in denial. I should have listened. I felt it in my gut. Like, you're saying all of these things and you're beating yourself up about it. Doing a lot of coulda, woulda, shoulda. Spirit is saying that, you're still understanding the language of your intuition and how it communicates with you. You're still learning to understand how your intuition feels in your body, how it feels in your heart space. And so don't beat yourself up for not getting the message the first time. like I said, you've learned the lesson. So maybe you had to take a little bit of the scenic route and, you know, you had to learn the lesson the hard way this time. But now that you know better, you're going to expect better and you're going to experience better because, again, you've declared it. Trust in your ability to recuperate from this experience, trust in your ability to heal yourself, and trust the guidance that Spirit is giving you. When you feel those things, when you feel that something is off, you can trust that. You can listen to that. It's okay to take a step back from something if you need a little bit more time to really figure out what it is. Ending your tarot messages this month, Sag, you have the Four of Crystals and the Knight of Swords. Knight of Swords is an energy that is all about having clear intention and your eyes on the prize. However, this is an energy that also requires you to have a clear plan. You need to have a clear path in order to put that plan into action. And so this involves you kind of having to make some necessary steps, having to change some things around. And some of you Sages are a little resistant to that. Four of Crystals here, also the Four of Pentacles in traditional tarot, is all about having a resistance to change, coming up against obstacles, needing to reevaluate your priorities, but having a fear or a resistance to that. Some of you Sages are wanting different and you're desperate for a different experience, but you are resistant to really putting that change in. You're resistant to really diving deep and creating a new plan from scratch that is separate from what you were already invested in or what you had already envisioned. And so this is an energy that some of you guys are dealing with right now, or you may be dealing with in the month of March, of wanting something different, wanting something better, but resisting it because you are fearful, you don't know how to conceptualize a better path forward, you don't know how to break out of certain patterns and do certain things differently. And that's okay. You have support, you have people that you can lean on, you have other resources and outlets that you can use in order to help you maximize all of this energy that's wanting to come in. So don't feel like you have to have it all figured out right away. You don't. But if you feel that resistance and you feel that blockage and you know that it's self-inflicted, kind of try to step more into this Queen of Cups energy where you are in more of a flow and in more of an intuitive space. So crystals or pentacles is an earth energy, which can be very grounded and stubborn and in its own way. Cups energy represents water, which is more of a flowing energy. Water doesn't resist, it just flows. It has an acceptance with where it's going, where it's being led. The only time that water is resisting or blocked is if something is in its way. Something firm, something hard is in its way. And so try to be more present in this energy this month, Sag, and I promise you will get a much better result and the journey will be a lot more pleasant for you guys. So with that being said, I'm gonna pull your 3 oracles to tie everything together. Okay, Sag, so the oracles that I pulled out for you guys this month are gentleness, balance, and the simple things. I'm gonna flip them over so we can read the messages on the back. Starting with gentleness, it says, cultivate tenderness and softness. Stand back from the day-to-day things that irritate and upset your equilibrium. Nurture yourself to find a place of serenity. So pretty self-explanatory, just like I explained to you guys. That's a good message to be mindful of throughout the month, throughout the year. Moving on to balance, it says, things beyond your control can threaten to throw you off balance. Find ways to center yourself and stay grounded. Compose yourself whilst you find a way forward. So far, these oracles are pairing really well with the messages that were told in your tarot spread. So strong guidance, coming in from Spirit for you guys about what you need to do this month in terms of making things a bit easier for yourself and finding the best path forward. Last oracle message says, the simple things. Embrace the simple things in life. Loosen your fixation on external desires that only provide short-term gratification. So, again, kind of getting out of your own way so that you are in more of a flow. A lot of that finding flow comes easier when you are not so hyper-focused on all of the big major details, but just kind of focusing on what you can do, the small things that you can do on a day-to-day basis to just kind of find ease and balance and gentleness. Very beautiful oracle messages for you guys this month, Sag. I really love these messages for you guys. I hope you got something out of them. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And with that, I will see you guys in my next video. Take care.